When booking a flight, most people are looking for the lowest price. The same airline seat can cost one price on one day and another price if booked before or later. And sometimes the same seat can cost less depending on which airline's website you use and whether it thinks you're Canadian or American.
We found a systemic issue here. It is not a one-off.
Specifically United Airlines, which flies into various Canadian cities. After a tip from an airline industry insider, we found that booking the same flight on United could cost more if you shop on the Canadian site versus the US one.
It sounds like United Airlines is ripping Canadians off. Simple as that.
We did some shopping with United and found some differences. We priced tickets on a flight between Toronto and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. On the US site, the same one-way flight cost $236. Adjusted into Canadian currency, it came to $313. But when we switched to United's Canadian website, the cost for that flight was higher. It came out to $357, a $44 difference. Another flight, Toronto-New Orleans. On United's U.S. site, we'd pay $538 for the direct flight, $735 Canadian. Still cheaper than had we gone to the Canadian site, which charged $771. In some cases, the amounts aren't that big. In other cases, there's no difference at all. But for penny-pinching travelers who don't know better, it can all add up.
The airline cannot discriminate between passengers based on their citizenship, based on their residence.
Air Canada also has separate sites for the US and Canada and told us at the time of booking, fares on the Canadian site in Canadian dollars would be reflected on the US site in equivalent US dollars. But beware, you know which site you're on.
Being a Canadian flight, US never even entered my mind.
Kelly Wisnowski of Winnipeg booked a flight thinking she was on the Canadian site, but she was on the US one. And realized when she got her credit card statement, the great deal she found wasn't as good as she thought. We called United Airlines for comment. They didn't get back to us. It's important to make sure you know which of the airline's country sites you're on. And if you want to make sure you get the absolute best price, consider checking both the Canadian and the U.S. one. In some cases, there'll be little or no difference. In other cases, you could save money, especially worth considering if you're booking for a whole family. Alan.
Thanks, Sean.